Hello everyone, this is Mythonian,
And Casey's Crag.
and today we are going to be overviewing the map and settings for the 2v2 ladder.
Yes, as you can see here in front of your face, we have the strategic 2v2 template. Four
Yeah, and we're
players
going to be
suggested.
looking at it.
Next.
Next, yeah. Okay, so we're just going to take a quick look at the settings and then look at the map. So basically the settings are the same as
Mm-hmm.
in the old days.
The
No
olden
real
days.
differences, you can attack by percentage, transfer only, attack only. All this stuff is pretty standard. A move order determined randomly. So it does not use the new no luck template or anything like that. It doesn't use like no luck cyclic move order. Um, and the and just going over basically more on the luck stuff.
I
It
think you
wasn't
still
here.
have the same number of wastelands too, don't you?
Yeah, the same number of races as before.
5 of
But if
10.
we go to okay, in the armies tab, there the luck modifier is still 16%.
Mm-hmm.
Rounding mode is still weighted random.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not straight round, it's not 0% luck, it's not no luck cyclic. So pure skill, it is not.
Mm-hmm.
Although, it's not necessarily, there's still, skill involved, obviously. Because
Obviously.
it is the random. I mean, it is the what? It is
Random is skill.
it is the ladder,
Yes.
the 2v2 ladder. But yeah, bonuses are this. Well, I won't say bonuses are the same. The map is totally different. The map plays extremely differently.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna say something? Okay. Yeah, but the map plays differently. Settings are the same though. So
Mm-hmm.
because of the settings being the same and the map being different, there's significant changes to how you have to play the 2v2 ladder now compared to in the past.
Yeah.
The cards are also the same, obviously. The
Yep.
airlifts, the gift, the no, sorry, the lack
Airlift.
of airlifts, the gift, the order delay, order priority, reinforcement card, and blockade card.
Mm-hmm. Still get them in the same number of pieces. You still get a reinforcement card on turn 5 if you get all your cards.
Turn
Order priority
you
on
can use it turn
6,
five.
or order priority on turn 7. Order delay on turn 5, or turn 6. Gift card from the start. You never get anything. Well, you do get another gift card after a while, like
Yeah, on turn
20
15.
turns. Oh, is it?
If you get a card piece every single turn, then you get it in 15 turns. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there were 40 pieces.
It's a blockade card that there's 40 pieces of.
Ah, gotcha. That's
But
what I
you
was
start
thinking
with
of.
an extra 16, so you only need 24. So 12,
Mm-hmm.
turn 12 is when you get your second blockade.
Yep. So
Okay.
that's the way it is.
So settings are the same as we've said several times. Taking a look at the map. As you can see, it's very different than Medium Earth. So Medium Earth is a bit outdated for the 2v2, so they replaced it with Final Earth, and it is very different. As you can see, there's a lot more
Yes.
bonuses. There's more of a focus on smaller bonuses, and also slightly less income for the bonuses themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of two bonuses, some three bonuses, and several four bonuses as well. Four is as big as they get. So Medium Earth had some five bonuses, some six bonuses, and Canada was a seven bonus.
Yep.
This doesn't have that.
No.
The biggest bonuses are the four bonuses. It's got three one bonuses, which are in the islands. There's East Pacific, West Pacific, and then Kazakhstan in
Mm-hmm.
the middle of Asia.
Yep.
And then it's got a bunch of two bonuses, and then plenty of three bonuses, and then again, I think
And
there's seven four bonuses. One, two,
yeah.
three, four,
One,
five,
two,
six,
three,
eight. There's eight or
five,
nine.
6,
Nine.
7,
Okay.
8, 9. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. So plenty of four bonuses, and
Something else very important to keep in mind is all of the islands, all of the little border areas. Well, actually, Mongolia is not an island. There are all these neutral, I guess you could call them neutral, uh, areas that are not part of a bonus.
well, there's not a whole lot of them, but there's like six, I think.
No, there's quite a few.
Oh,
There's
you were right. I forgot about
Iceland,
the Singapore and Sri Lanka
Azores,
as well. Yeah.
Saint Helena, Falkland Islands, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Mongolia. There's quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, and
Iceland as well.
Transcaucasia. That's also there.
Yep. So these are these sort of break up, especially the ones in Asia. They sort of break it up a little bit. So you would
Mm-hmm.
only get them for strategic or positional purposes.
Yeah.
For example, Mongolia is a very good counter to Siberia because it's got a double border. It also gives you a vision on Yakutia, which is a good and frequently used two bonus. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty good for positioning. Iceland is a gap between Greenland and Western Europe. The Azores,
Mm-hmm.
though, is huge.
Yep, the Azores is a very, very critical island because
Yeah,
it connects North America with South America and Africa, and I guess Europe, but that's less important because, well, Morocco and Iberian Peninsula border each other
yeah.
anyway.
So that's something to note. It doesn't, you can't explicitly see it, but Morocco does touch Iberian Peninsula. So
Yep,
you can go across there. You don't need to go to the Azores first.
exactly.
And then we've got a gap between Brazil and Central Africa with St. Helena, which sort
Mm-hmm.
of, before you had Brazil going straight into Nigeria. So this has changed a little bit. And then you've got Falkland Island down at the bottom to sort of connect those two together. This is sort of in place of Antarctica, which is no longer a bonus at all. They completely removed that continent.
Yep. So that's a big difference to note as well. Is Antarctica's gone?
Oh yeah.
I didn't play at all. There's no connector down there for South. Well, I guess there is for South America to get to Australia because
Oh
now you
yeah.
can go
Well,
through East
that's
Pacific.
East Pacific, yeah. Which is, and it should be said that these islands, the Pacific Islands, are very useful for getting across the map, just like how the Azores are useful. You can go all the way from Greenland down to South America in just 4 turns, or five
Yep.
turns if you don't count, if you have
Mm-hmm.
to get to Venezuela. And then you can also go from like Russian Far East down to South America in
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. So
Yep. So
it makes
these.
mobility a lot easier.
Yep. And that's their purpose is connecting the map.
Mhm. And it can really surprise people if you're, halfway across the map, but guess what? You're on their doorstep already.
Mm-hmm.
It makes that was probably I wouldn't say a problem with the old map, but it makes this map more dynamic, I guess, because it
Yeah.
there's more flow to it. You can get across the map a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
And since it is bigger, since there's more territories now, that's extremely important.
Oh yeah.
It's like if they didn't have that, this map would, be extremely slow. But it's not slow because you can get around the map so easily.
Exactly. I feel like also the biggest reason they added things like St. Helena, Falkland Islands, Caribbean, and Tahiti as borders to South America is because, well, South America is generally one of the more isolated locations on most WarLight boards.
True, true.
So they wanted to add a lot of connectivity there. Um, just things that make it more accessible to different areas of the board.
Yeah.
So that's something they added. Also, the Singapore location. The Singapore location, from what I can see, is generally, well, I guess you could also say the same of St. Helena and Falkland Islands, but they're just there really to add a border, to
Hmm.
add a location between South Asia and Southeast Asia.
Yeah, it just spaces it out so that
Mm-hmm.
the Australia area, the Oceania area, just feels a little bit farther away from Asia.
Exactly.
So it's more viable to get because you're not necessarily right next door to them. You've
Exactly.
got that little buffer area.
Mm-hmm. And also, you have another area to go through to break into Asia as well.
Yeah, I mean, being able to go through Singapore and just going straight to the left to get to Sri Lanka, and then you can go down to Africa if you want. You can go up into India,
Mm-hmm.
just to basically you can bypass around East China completely
Mm-hmm.
without needing to get to it.
Yeah, if you so desire.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly why, but if for some reason you want to avoid East China, you can. So,
Yeah, I guess you could be sneaky and take all of Southeast Asia. Although, I mean South Asia. Although I wonder why you would want to do that, considering South China would be bordering you, and that would be sort of awkward.
mhm. Yeah. Let's see. Well, The another major difference between the old map and this map is that everywhere is good. There's no bad location on the board, per se.
Yeah.
Uh,
Strictly speaking.
Everywhere, all of the bonuses are equally efficient. Well, all of the two bonuses are just as good as all the other two bonuses. All the three bonuses are just as good as every three bonus.
Mm-hmm.
It's always four territories for two income, five territories for three income, or six territories for four income,
Mm-hmm.
or three for one. There's also that, but
Yeah.
most of the one bonuses are not, necessarily viable.
It's always the number of territories minus two
Yes.
is the amount of income for a
Yeah.
particular
And that was
bonus.
one of the issues with the previous map is that it wasn't necessarily consistent.
No, it wasn't.
Like, some of them were better than others, some of them were worse than others, and it restricted the old map. You couldn't go anywhere. You had to choose efficient start locations if you really wanted to have a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with this one, since it's both larger and everywhere is viable, it makes it a little harder to do coverage on the map.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So,
there's a lot more to cover.
yeah, I mean, if you've seen our older ladder games, you'll see a lot of our picking strategies are based on coverage. We're trying to cover the possible locations where they will be, and that's because there's only a few of them. We
Mm-hmm.
only get four start locations, but we want to cover all of the viable locations to start at.
Yeah,
So we can't do that anymore with this, and it changes how you have to play the game.
exactly.
You
It
can't
changes
just
it
do
a
it the same
lot.
way. Um,
Instead of focusing on uh, always trying to cover the locations where your opponents could be, you have to focus on trying to get somewhere in the area sometimes. Sometimes you can go for particular counters, but it's a lot more complicated. There's a
mhm.
lot more to think about.
Yes. I mean, while we say that everywhere on this map is viable, there are some strengths and weaknesses with each area. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
obviously Japan, which you can get to quickly through the Pacific,
Mm-hmm.
double borders Russian Far East, which is huge. It's a good counter to that area. Mongolia,
Exactly.
as we said, is a counter to Siberia. There's areas that get good, that counter other areas very well on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going through Pakistan double borders West China, which is very useful. There's a lot of double borders that you can get to where they can't necessarily see you coming. And based on
Things to
where,
take advantage of.
yeah, based on where the start locations is, because it is random warlord still, same settings.
And
So
the wastelands.
yeah, there's also five wastelands of size 10 that spawn. And depending on where those are, you have to base everything around that. I mean, you have to
Mm-hmm.
base where you want to start at, where you think your opponents might start at. There's going to be, I mean, there's only five wastelands still, five wastelands, and there's a hell of a lot of map to cover.
Yeah.
So there's going to be way too much that you can do with just four picks because you still only get two apiece.
Yeah. I guess something that has remained constant from the original medium Earth map, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
is Congo. Congo is
Oh,
still
yeah,
basically
Congo's
the
huge.
yeah, it's still basically the big mama spot in Africa. You
Yes,
need Congo.
Congo, extremely valuable. It counters Southern Africa, which is itself is really hard to get a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Uh,
South
you'll
Africa's
only see this
less common.
play every blue moon, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, Congo is a huge counter to East Africa. Uh, it gets that triple border on it, just like it did in the old map. Even though South Sudan was not a territory in the old map,
Mhm.
it still gets a triple border. And Nigeria, for instance, gets a double border on Northwest Africa. I mean, the only thing that it doesn't really count, that Central Africa doesn't counter well, is North Africa.
Yep. And I'd still argue it's about a neutral different
Yeah, I mean,
about between them. It's
between
basically
them,
who
it's
gets
whoever gets
Niger.
Niger. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Whoever gets Niger first.
Or Sudan. I guess Sudan would be better.
Oh yeah, so I guess in that case, Central Africa has a slight advantage
Yeah. But
because they can
also
get
keep
go
in
out.
mind the dynamics between Middle East and Africa.
Oh yeah.
They've changed this a little
Mhm.
bit.
So Southern Arabian States does connect to Northern Horn now, so there's this connection here,
Mhm.
and Egypt still gets the double border on no longer called Israel, now called the Levant and Saudi Arabia. So get that double border, and then there's also the connection down here.
And then also keep in mind the added border in Italy, which adds a little bit of
Oh yeah.
flavor to the map.
So Mediterranean does connect to Italy, and
hmm
Turkey still connects to Balkans.
I do like dividing up Europe like this.
Oh yeah, the division in Europe was key. They would have had to make Europe too small to be a
Yeah.
four bonus, so they had to split up into two. And it does make the entire Europe area a lot more useful. I mean, before it
hmm
was only Scandinavia.
Basically, yeah.
Scandinavia was the important spot, but now Eastern Europe is very important. Western Europe has access to the Azores, which is very important.
hmm
Um, I mean, we can't stress enough how important the Azores is.
Yeah, the
It's
Azores
huge.
is just ridiculously powerful.
Hmm.
If you have a stack in the Azores, you can go anywhere you want and threaten anybody, except Asia.
Yeah.
It is very powerful. Africa, South America, North America, you name it. The Azores is your place, man.
Hmm. Yep.
So interesting board. I like it. I do think of it as an improvement over the old map,
I do.
Medium Earth.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is that it just feels a little bit too big, to me at least. Maybe that's just me. It feels like we should get three picks apiece. That's the only thing that I would say. Um, but it's sort of growing on me.
Yeah, 3 picks per person. I wish there. I would like maybe 2 and 3, maybe 5 picks per team if that was even possible.
At the moment, that's not possible.
But I think 3 picks per team might be. I mean, per player might be a little too much. But if there was somewhere between 4 and 6 that we could go with, which you really can't go with 5 because it doesn't make sense, then I would think that would be probably ideal. But you can't quite do that.
Yeah, I mean that's what I want to stress that. I mean, it's just a little bit too big, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Like
just a little bit.
I sort of agree with you. Three picks a person might be too much. I just don't. Two is not quite enough. So
So
you
it's
know,
like we're left in
yeah,
this
exactly.
awkward
Exactly.
space where we can't quite get the perfect golden middle spot right there.
But anyways, it's a very good map. I like it. It's
hmm
very balanced. All of the areas are useful. There's efficient expansion everywhere. Obviously depending upon where the wastelands are.
Yeah.
If you're choosing in an area isolated by wastelands, then good luck with expanding.
Yeah, beyond your first bonus, you probably won't get much.
Yeah.
But
Overall, very good map. The picking strategies are very diverse compared to the old map, in my opinion, at least, or at
oh
least the
yeah.
common picking strategies.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go for combos, like just like in the old one. Uh, Combos are a little harder to get in, one turn. You can't get like one turn three bonuses very easily.
You can
Although
get
you
one turn two
can,
bonuses,
yeah, you can get one turn two bonuses. It's technically possible to get a one turn three bonus,
but you have to have your
with a
teammates
teammate.
help.
Yeah, which is really strange. It's really hard to. I'm not sure if it's actually worth it. It really depends. It's like a very specific situation that it has to be. But
Yeah, for it
uh,
to work out at all. And you'd have to have the wastelands in a particular location or group of locations for it to be viable. I could imagine a situation where it could be
yeah,
reasonable, but in general, no, it's not. Um, but you can get 2 turn 1 bonuses.
one turn
Wow,
two
1 turn 2 bonuses. Those are relatively common. Like Yakusha, if you start with Central Yakut Plain and Magadan, you can take Yakusha in 1 turn.
Yep.
80% likely. It's basically the same chance you could get a 1 turn 3 bonus on the old map.
Hmm. And then, so if you just choose a three bonus with even just a single territory, you can get it
Mm.
in two turns.
hmm
So aside from the one
Provided
turn
you
two
are
bonus
not
combos,
harassed.
yeah, obviously using
Yeah.
all of your income, you can guarantee a three bonus within two turns using all
hmm
your income.
Yeah.
And then with a 4 bonus, you can, if you combo it, you can guarantee it in 2 turns, depending upon leftovers. Most of the time, you can guarantee it, unless
Usually.
you get maximum leftovers.
Uh,
All right, minimum leftovers,
yeah.
maximum losses.
Yeah. That would suck.
Yeah. So you can guarantee a combo of a 4 bonus. You can guarantee a 3 bonus in 2 turns with just a single spot, and then you can get a 2 turn bonus, 2 bonus in 1 turn. I almost said the same thing you did.
And in general, we've seen all sorts of strategies around these picks. We've seen people combo 4 bonuses. We've seen people just go for 2-3 bonuses, which is like the most generic picking strategy you can go with, I guess.
Well, it's sort of the closest to coverage as you can get.
Yeah, yeah, that
Splitting
makes
up some 3
sense.
bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, if you're only picking a single territory in each, like, if you want to split up your territories down into different continents,
Mm-hmm.
it's generally better to go with 3 bonuses.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Generally, 2 bonuses are what you want to go for if you anticipate that you will be fighting someone elsewhere and you want to get quick income.
yeah, without having to put all of your income there. Because,
Yep.
again, to get a 3 bonus in 2 turns, it takes all your income, basically. All of your income, except maybe one guy. Depending upon leftovers. You might be able to get off of 2 if you get minimum losses.
You know,
But,
this
mhm.
isn't something I talked about, but South Pacific is really cool. It's just a really cool bonus, I think. Just the idea of this little bonus over here, this little 2 bonus that's right next to East
Mhm.
Pacific. I didn't really talk about that before, but just want to bring that up. South Pacific, you're awesome. It's a neat
Indeed.
looking.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't disagree. It comes in handy a lot of the time. It has great access through East Pacific to get to both North America and South America. It
Mm-hmm.
can go up through Hawaii to get to Japan to counter most of Asia. You can just go through Southeast Asia and then Singapore and Sri Lanka to get to Africa. It's got a lot of access to it, because it is part of that Pacific Islands, those Pacific Islands.
Yep. I just like the advent of this area because there were really only 2 bonuses down here in the medium
Yeah.
Earth map.
Hmm.
There was Indonesia, and there was Australia. That was it. The addition of a 3rd bonus is just interesting to me. I like it.
Yeah.
However, do not like the naming of Southeast Asia. This is a very strange name for this location. Wow.
Yeah.
There is this tiny bit of Asia that is in Sumatra. That is it. Everything else. No, actually, Singapore. Singapore is the end of Asia.
Yeah. Hmm. I
This
was
is
about
not
to say,
Asia.
like,
Never mind. This is incorrect. This should not be called Southeast Asia. I disagree. But whatever.
yeah.
Or at
Well,
least it's not part of continental Asia, I should say.
so generally it's considered this entire area with Australia and Indonesia and all this stuff is considered Oceania.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would like that name a bit better, but I can understand why they might have trouble naming it that
they should have
because
called it like Southwest Pacific or something.
yeah, or something, I don't know, something like that. Maybe, just maybe West Oceania or something. I don't know. Northwest Oceania. Ah,
That would
just
be viable. Northwest Oceania, Southeast Oceania for South Pacific.
but Southeast Asia. No. Anyway,
Yep. Let's see.
but
Anything else we could talk about?
yeah, there's like general picking strategies to think of, or you can have one teammate going for a combo in like Brazil or Middle East or something, or Australia or Greenland, whatever, on a 4-turn bonus, and then your teammate
Two
having 2
turn
picks
four.
elsewhere. Yeah, 2-turn 4 bonus, and your teammate having 2 picks elsewhere that are generally coverage picks.
Mm-hmm.
They're going for like, I don't know, East China or South US, things like that. And then you can use that other guy to gift your teammate who has the 4 bonus a spot near him as soon as he encounters an opponent, or if you already know an opponent's nearby, whatever the case is.
Yeah, it makes gift cards very valuable.
Oh yeah, like on the old map, gift
Yeah.
cards are the most important card without a doubt. Gift cards are just very, 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 very valuable. And how you use them is critical to how you or how well you do in this ladder.
Definitely.
If you don't use gift cards ever, you're probably not going to do... I mean, you may do okay, but you probably won't be in one of the really good teams just because people will take advantage of this. Well, it was the
same. Yeah, that's the similarity with the old map.
Exactly.
You needed to be good with using all of your cards, and that that still includes the blockade card. You have to be able to know when you need to use it. Whether you're denying them a bonus that you're going to lose a bonus, so you blockade it, and then they can't get it. Or
and
maybe
also using it
do
as
it in
a
a
shield.
choke point.
Yeah.
Do it in a choke point. The Azores is a fantastic choke point. Just as it's good offensively, you can use it to cut them off from getting to you. You can do it in St. Helena. Before, if you wanted to blockade between Brazil and Africa, you needed to either lose your bonus or blockade their bonus. Now you can do it in between without losing either. So, I mean, there's places where you can blockade to cut the enemy off. I mean, Iran is a decent choke point because you have to go quite far around in order to get to it.
Yep.
And if you pay attention to where the wastelands are, this can become even more effective.
Yep. I mean, Iran is one of those critical positions on the board.
I mean, blockading in Japan makes Russian Far East extremely safe. It only has to worry about someone in like Manchuria, which is the only other southern double border that they can get. And assuming it, presumably you won't let them do that.
Hopefully. Yeah. You must prepare for this. But to get there, they have to go through Southeast China, East Central China, North China, Manchuria. It takes so long. You have so much space to work with.
Yeah.
So it makes a very big difference. So anyway, and these I like these little one bonuses. I mean, really, Kazakhstan is probably the least useful, but it's still relatively useful. You can use it as a counter for basically any one of the three West Russia, Ural, Siberia locations.
It also double borders Central Eurasia.
This too. Central Kazakhstan. So it's an interesting spot. I like it personally. East Pacific and Japan, or West Pacific are the other two.
Yep.
Cool stuff. I like this board.
Me too. So, yeah, I think that's just about everything. So this was just a quick overview of the settings and the new map. It plays very differently than the old one because of, all the differences we've talked about. The settings are very similar and reminiscent, so not a whole lot of technical changes. Overall, things are very exciting, the games, and I think it's going to be a very good ladder season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. In this season of 2v2 ladder, we will dominate. Yes.
Yes. So we will see you guys when the first game starts.
Indeed. Look forward to it.
Yeah.